This is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I want to show you the outside of the book and urge everyone to buy this set. Buy it for your shul. If you have the money, it's a tremendous, tremendous power, ball of energy. So here we are in the Zohar, the Matok B'Devash, and we're going to open up here to page Reish Yud Beis. Let me see if I can show it to you. There it is, Parshas Miketz. Today is the third day of the week. Today is the day of balance. It's the day of tiferes. It's the day of the middle line. It's the day of Zohar Miketz. Let's go down here to the bottom of this page and we'll start up. We'll see what we can learn. So the Zohar says like this: V'yizkar Yosef es echav v'hem lo hikiruhu. Yosef, he recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Rebbe Elazar pasuk v'amar. Rebbe Elazar began and he said this pasuk: Lama ira b'mei ra. Why should it come to pass in the days that are bad? Avo nekevai, that will come across the sins of my heels. Yesuveni, who that will surround me. The Zohar says, Talchaz, you come and see Tlas ina the dochlin v'lo yalde b'mad the dochlin. There were three different types of people who are afraid, but they don't know why. What are they so scared about? Now this has been explained, and he says this is Gemara and it says like this: the first one is a notel tsefarnav, a person who's cutting his fingernails. Second one is a magalech sarosav, a person who is either he's at the barber, he's having his hair cut or his beard trimmed. Number three, Hamaki's dam, a person also at the barber. In the old days, they used to be bloodletters. Because these three, if a person does not wash his hands properly afterward, there's a tremendous fear that falls on those people. But they don't know what they're so afraid about. But there's another type of person, a person who's also terrified and very frightened, but he doesn't know why. Begin inun l'chatoy d'lo yoda de'inun l'chatoyim v'lo ashkach bahu. He says this is because b'shvil elu chatoyim, because of different kinds of sin, sha'adam dash be'kevav, that are so small, they're insignificant to the person, and he like tramples them with his heels. Ve'en the yodea, but he doesn't know that he did this. Because the mistakes that he's making are things that he doesn't consider to be important. No, but they're nothing. So therefore the person is not careful about them. So therefore he's not careful. He doesn't pay attention to do tshuva when he makes these mistakes. This is the person who is frightened because of days of evil days, I guess he would say, coming. So let's look over here on the next page. So he says, what are, in fact, these bad days? The inun is damnam b'haku ra. These are days that are designated for the control of badness. In other words, to be under the control of badness. Uman inun, what are these days? Da yetzer hara v'deihu ikri ra. So he said, "Me who is the one that generates this? V'zehu yetzer hara. It's the yetzer hara. Shehu nikra ra. So the days of ra, the days of the yetzer hara, is in control. V'is le yomin yedin de'is yehi v'chavedecha b'rshus ba'alma. Because there are days in our lives and in the years and the days of the world, that we know that their permission has been given into the world. Nice phrase. So what does he do? There are days which are available to pervert the derech of straightness. And this happens for those people who are engaged in the tumah of their lives, and the ways of their lives filled with tumah. The man the also is the avim is oven leg. Ki mi sheba lahitame, a person that comes to make himself tame, mitameim also. So Hashem jumps in right away and gets him in trouble. V'ilon ilin ikron yemei ra, and these are the days of badness. Seisach v'ilon memanem al ilin chovin the darsha b'hu b'nedasha ba'akavayhu. Ve'elo mamonim. So these days are appointed, set aside, lahanish ala osem ma'avonos, to bring punishment to those sins, shebnei adam dashim ba'akavehem, that people just trample with their feet because they don't care. And this is the reason why should it happen, that there are going to be days with this badness in it. Pirish lama era ba'osem ayom, and why does it happen on those days? Shenikram yamei ra, which are called the days of Ra. Shechasatan sholet bechem. This means that the Samach Mem, the Satan, our main accuser and adversary, he gets control of those days. Why? Lefi she'avo nakeva yisaveni, because the sins of my heels are surrounding me. Shehem ha'avonos she'adam dash ba'keva. Once again, we're talking about the sins that a person thinks are not important, and he so more or less tramples them with his heels. So now the Zohar says like this, Tochazi, come and see. Call in the B'sa'avin Achaychu, all those people who come, and they make tumah in their paths. Now always it seems to me that the Zohar is always talking about Pegama Bris. Because if there's any place that the Satan really wants to focus, it is on the appetites of our bris. So he says, called the Mis'ave Archaichu, so anyone who makes tumah in their path of life. Ba'avarei call Elush Metmeim Darchan B'divarim Aniram Dachem Kalim. So it seems like it's something small. I don't know what that could be in the world that we're thinking about now. I don't know if I want to make distinctions. Kamachavili Tehirin is Damnin the Gabaychu Mis'avan Lahu. Kamachavuras Kitzanim says that also outside of these outside forces that want to get in are fighting to get Kedusha, which is held by the Jewish people. So he says Chaburos Kitzanim, he calls them Kitzanim Hameirim B'Teicha V'Din, who are shining from the strength of Din. Shebehem is Dumanim Mizdamnim, because these are prepared, are already invited lachem umetameim osam. They're mizdamim. I think the word is they are prepared for these people who are doing these things, and they make them even more tamid. The ba'archo the boy barnash the mehach, because we say in the way that a person likes to go. Ba'achu archon b'dabrem le mamish, and that's the way that they begin to speak to the person mamish molichem, so they lead them in that path. Asi Barnash is the call. So man now turns around and he wants to purify himself. In Baha Allah the Hitahir, coming into the Besayin light, then there's all different kinds of agencies of the Kodesh Baruch Hu, of light and energy and all kinds of things that can come to a person to help him. Ba'agav Orchek Mevayer in the Tilas Yadayim. Now that we've got to this now, we're going to come and we're going to say a little bit about Netilas Yadayim. This is an example of one of the things that people don't care about that much. Just like I listened to the rabbi in our synagogue, he says he was trying to suggest to people that they stop and then make a bracha after going to the back of the Shayatzar, because a lot of people just don't do it. They may know about it, but they don't care. That's a mitzvah they're missing. So he says this is a Shebnei Adam Mizalzlim Behem V'Omer Ha'Taninan. So we learn like this: Dekad Bar Nash Kam B'Tzafra Boy LaAscha Yodai Megol Natla Damaya. So he said, Kasha Adam Kam B'Boker, when you get up in the morning. Now we've learned a lot about this in other places. Tzarech Lito Yadav Metoch Kli Mayim. It's the person has to wash his hands with a vessel that holds water. Di'ihu ma'ana litol minei mayim. So in other words, it's a vessel. Let me write it again. Di'ihu ma'ana litol minei mayim. This is a vessel which is designated, which is designated litol b'menu mayim. So it's just strictly for washing the hands. That you should not use a vessel that you would normally use for drinking. Because a person will cause tuma to himself. And because let's say like this, you used a drinking vessel to wash your hands. He says that the tuma that's on your hands can jump, and he didn't say the word jump, but I've heard it before. They can jump into the vessel that you use to clean it, and now you go to drink it, and so it's all involved in tuma. The tilas also should be considered to be something which is important and is appropriate for washing the hands. Because a person who washes his hands first. So a person, it's like a kohen. He really should wash his hands from a person who's already washed his hands. Because if you have it's the same idea, is if your hands are washed. Let's say you're a kohen and your Levi is washing your hands, and this person's Levi did not wash his hands first. So then he'll come back and he'll make your hands unclean. Like the rabbis have explained like this. This is an important idea for anyone who's a kohen, but Masechta Brachos or a Levi. So come and see. Begin not lodo ukim nemilo. Because of this special vessel that you're using to wash your hands, is to teach that you need a special kli, and that's basically the mimer that you want to say. But two, and all those, so let's talk about something else that we need to be careful about. That he has to have in mind, and this is very important, that you always should have your mind, and this is another part of that mitzvah, to wash your right hand with your left hand. Use the left to purify the right. Begin the shalta yamina al smala, in order that the right should have control over the left. Kedei lahashid as a yamin al hasmol, to make the right side the most important. V'yistche yamina min smala, v'yisrachech hayamin min hasmol, so that means that the right hand would be washed by the left. Kedei sheyisaved hasmol elyon el hayamin, v'yad v'chaviyamin al hasmol. So these are his words. Why do we wash it with the left? So we make this. So he says. Let me find the words. Kedei yishta'aved is small, so that to indenture the left hand to elyon, which is up above, because it's pouring downwards, el hayamin to the right hand, yad v'hayamin of the small, and make the most important part the right hand. V'tzarach litan akli techila min hayamin the small. So the first thing you do is you pick up with the right hand, and then you put it in the left hand. Ye'ein mayim b'small ela min hayamin. Because the only time that the left gets water is a symbol of chesed, and the left hand is the symbol of fire. So it doesn't have any chesed in it. So the only way that he can get it, he ain't mayim b'small ela min hayamin. The only way that he can get water is from the right line. If again kachem, for this reason, ihu netila, v'lechein ba hanetila. So therefore, the concept of taking lahadver v'lahashli, there's a yamim of the small. That's what it means, to take it and make the predominant force the right hand, not the left. So therefore, we see a man who washes his hand. So a person, you're doing it yourself. Yitol yamino b'smolo. So you should take the right hand in his left. Lal shal yamina al smola. Yito hayamin b'smol. Take the right hand with the left. Kedei lishlot hayamin al smol. Now I think he means yito hayamin b'smol. Yito means taking the water, pouring the water on the right hand from the left. Kedei lishal hashlit hayamin al smol, and to make the right hand the dominant hand. Begin to lo yehiv dukta the yetzahar l'shalto klal. Now this is an important part right here. Kadei shelo yiten makom liyetzahara. The hava min a small, which is attached, can be easily attached to the left side. Lish lo klal, to have any control at all. V'ha ukimna, and now we've explained that idea. Gavar pirashno inyan zecha b'makom acher. This has been talked about previously. Ma'acha shachvar nichna v'nishta'ava, the small, and once is humbled down and indentured. That is the left line, that the left hand to the right hand. By what? By serving it to cleanse, to purify the right hand. So then after that, you take the right hand and you pour it on the left. This is the person who's doing something good, for something which has been suppressed or smaller than it is, less significant. And then dentures it and makes it work. So the idea here is that the left hand should be dominated by the right hand, and you do this by lifting the left hand up with the water in it and pouring it on the right. That its basic service is to purify the right and bring the right into dominance. This is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kola.